Detective Conan, or in some English releases, Case Closed, is a long-running detective manga and anime series widely celebrated around the world within the otaku community and even more so domestically within Japan. It's a show that follows the adventures of a teenage detective with the body of a child solving curious and perplexing crime cases. Just when you thought you know what's going on, the show will surprise you with the most ingenious and unexpected solutions, keeping you at the edge of your seat. Its popularity is without a doubt well deserved. Even Conan from the Late Night Show had an episode where he visited Japan just to check out this cultural fad, as well as make some jokes on the fact that they share the same name. To this day, I can still remember the good times when I was still a primary school kid watching dubbed versions of the older episodes of this show. To some of us, its nostalgia value is comparable to Pokemon. If you've never heard of Detective Conan before, I would strongly urge you to check it out. But today's video is not about the canonical series, but rather the yearly spin-off movies. I've met Japanese people who follow the movies almost religiously. Every year when a new movie of the series come out, people will go to the cinemas in Japan and watch it together with their friends or family as if it was some sort of festival. I've never been a fan of spin-off movies because I had the impression that they were non-essential, non-canonical side stories often made to milk more money out of well-established series. However, recently, after running out of ideas on what to watch, I decided to have a look at the latest addition to the Detective Conan movies, The Fist of Blue Sapphire. To my surprise, it was very enjoyable. Despite not knowing what happened in the canonical series after the first 100 or so episodes, I was still nevertheless very much drawn into the story and the well-recognizable characters. The story follows the journey of Conan Edogawa in Singapore after getting caught up in an unsettling and ambitious plot surrounding a large sapphire jewel named the Fist of Sapphire. After being lost in a pirate ship at sea, the Fist of Sapphire has been excavated from a sunken ship. Afterwards, the owner of the sapphire decided to host a martial arts contest to determine who shall be the one deserving of the marvelous jewel. The plot starts off with the murder, the death of a woman whose significance to the plot is omitted until much later on. At around the same time, Conan is kidnapped and taken to Singapore by a famous thief named Kaito Kid, whose appearance is almost identical to his teenage self. While Kid takes on the persona of Kuro Shinichi, Conan's older self, and joins Conan's friends on a holiday to watch the martial arts tournament, Conan himself is forced to take on another persona. The reason Kaito Kid is in Singapore is to steal the Fist of Blue Sapphire, and wishes to enlist the help of a great detective. Using the threat of not returning Conan back to Japan, he was able to get Conan's cooperation. As a world-famous thief, Kid prides himself in his ability to steal whatever that he wants and sees this whole endeavor as a challenge. However, unbeknownst to him, a sinister plot is cooking behind the scenes, and as a result, he was framed for 2 murders which he did not commit. Looking to find the truth, Conan and Kid ended up working together to search for the mastermind behind the crimes and uncover the truth behind the martial arts tournament. We later find out that the crimes were the work of a character named Leon Lowe, a criminal behavioral psychologist whose ambitions of changing and rebuilding Singapore for the better meant that he had to get his hands on the Fist of Sapphire in order to convince rogue pirates to crash a large tanker ship into Singapore. This was planned in order to challenge the current government whose complacency meant that Leon couldn't fulfill his ambitions. In doing so, he also murdered 2 other people that were in his way. However, after Conan and Kid catches up to the sinister plot, they were able to successfully stop it. However, something didn't add up. Leon was not the one who framed Kaito Kid for the murders, but rather another person, who, in order to avenge his father, planned this whole ploy. One aspect I dislike about this movie was its final reveal. This attempt at a plot twist seemed rather pointless and unsatisfactory as the motives were only briefly covered over. Rather than a reveal that makes you open your mouth in awe, it feels rather forced and out of place. Moving on, after uncovering the sinister plot, Conan and Kid was able to save Singapore from total destruction, although there was still a lot of destruction. And kiss already. A strong point of this show is how easily it is to follow and enjoy. Although by no means a simple plot, and there's still a lot of plot points I could hardly understand, such as a lion fountain spewing red water, I still found the show enjoyable. Overall, I think this was a great movie. However, like most spin-off movies from long-running shows, this movie lacks any significant character development and simply assumes that you know every single character already. The problem even extends to novel characters, where their motives and personalities really don't show through at all. Many of the characters that do appear in this movie are barely relevant to the plot and feels like they're there for the sake of being there. Given all of this, I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I will highly recommend it if you're just looking for an enjoyable show to watch, but don't go in expecting a masterpiece.